आजा बंसी बजाने वाला,
आजा बंसी बजाने वाला,
आजा गौआ चराने वाला,
आजा गौआ चराने वाला,
आजा मक्खन चुराने वाला,
आजा मक्खन चुराने वाला,
आजा गीता सुनाने वाला,
आजा गीता सुनाने वाला,
आजा मक्खन चुराने वाला,
आजा मक्खन चुराने वाला,
आजा गीता सुनाने वाला,
आजा गीता सुनाने वाला,
आजा बंसी बजाने वाला,
आजा बंसी बजाने वाला,
आजा गौआ चराने वाला,
आजा गौआ चराने वाला,
आजा मक्खन चुराने वाला,
आजा मक्खन चुराने वाला,
आजा गीता सुनाने वाला,
आजा गीता सुनाने वाला,
आजा मक्खन चुराने वाला,
आजा मक्खन चुराने वाला,
आजा मक्खन चुराने वाला,
आजा मक्खन चुराने वाला,
आजा गीता सुनाने वाला,
आजा गीता सुनाने वाला,
आजा गीता सुनाने वाला,
आजा गीता सुनाने वाला,
आजा बंसी बजाने वाला,
आजा बंसी बजाने वाला,
आजा गौआ चराने 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 वाला।
शिव शंकर शंभो उमाकांत हर त्रिपुरारे।
ओम महादेव शिव शंकर शंभो उमाकांत हर त्रिपुरारे।
मृत्युंजय वृषभध्वज शूलिन गंगाधर मृड मदनारे।
मृत्युंजय वृषभध्वज शूलिन गंगाधर मृड मदनारे।
हर शिव शंकर गौरीशं वंदे गंगाधरमीशं।
हर शिव शंकर गौरीशं वंदे गंगाधरमीशं।
रुद्रं पशुपतिमीशानं कलये काशीपुरीनाथं।
रुद्रं पशुपतिमीशानं कलये काशीपुरीनाथं।
जय शंभो शिव गौरी शंकर जय शंभो।
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 ओम महादेव शिव शंकर शंभो उमाकांत उमाकान्त हर त्रिपुरारे।
ॐ महादेव शिव शङ्कर शम्भो उमाकान्त हर त्रिपुरारे।
मृत्युञ्जय वृषभध्वज शूलिन गङ्गाधर मृडमदनारे।
मृत्युञ्जय वृषभध्वज शूलिन गङ्गाधर मृडमदनारे।
हर शिव शङ्कर गौरीशं वन्दे गङ्गाधरमीशम्।
हर शिव शङ्कर गौरीशं वन्दे गङ्गाधरमीशम्।
रुद्रं पशुपतिमीशानं कलये काशीपुरीनाथम्।
रुद्रं पशुपतिमीशानं कलये काशीपुरीनाथम्।
जय शम्भो शिव गौरी शङ्कर जय शम्भो।
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 ॐ महादेव शिव शङ्कर शम्भो उमाकान्त हर त्रिपुरारे।
ॐ महादेव शिव शङ्कर शम्भो उमाकान्त हर त्रिपुरारे।
मृत्युञ्जय वृषभध्वज शूलिन गङ्गाधर मृडमदनारे।
मृत्युञ्जय वृषभध्वज शूलिन गङ्गाधर मृडमदनारे।
हर शिव शङ्कर गौरीशं वन्दे गङ्गाधरमीशम्।
हर शिव शङ्कर गौरीशं वन्दे गङ्गाधरमीशम्।
रुद्रं पशुपतिमीशानं कलये काशीपुरीनाथम्।
रुद्रं पशुपतिमीशानं कलये काशीपुरीनाथम्।
जय शम्भो शिव गौरी शङ्कर जय शम्भो।
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 जय गुरु ओंकारा जय जय सद्गुरु ओंकारा। ओम
जय गुरु ओंकारा जय जय सद्गुरु ओंकारा।
जय गुरु ओंकारा जय जय सद्गुरु ओंकारा। ओम
जय गुरु ओंकारा जय जय सद्गुरु ओंकारा।
ब्रह्मा विष्णु सदाशिवा।
ब्रह्मा विष्णु सदाशिवा।
ब्रह्मा विष्णु सदाशिवा।
ब्रह्मा विष्णु सदाशिवा।
हर 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 महादेवा।
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 ब्रह्मा विष्णु सदाशिवा।
ब्रह्मा विष्णु सदाशिवा।
ब्रह्मा विष्णु सदाशिवा।
ब्रह्मा विष्णु सदाशिवा।
हर 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 महादेवा।
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 ब्रह्मा विष्णु सदाशिवा
ब्रह्मा विष्णु सदाशिवा
हर 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 महादेवा
हर 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 महादेवा
ब्रह्मा विष्णु सदाशिवा
ब्रह्मा विष्णु सदाशिवा
हर 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 महादेवा
हर 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 महादेवा
जय गुरु ओंकारा जय जय सद्गुरु ओंकारा ओम
जय गुरु ओंकारा जय जय सद्गुरु ओंकारा
ब्रह्मा विष्णु सदाशिवा
ब्रह्मा विष्णु सदाशिवा
हर 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 महादेवा
हर 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 महादेवा
ब्रह्मा विष्णु सदाशिवा
ब्रह्मा विष्णु सदाशिवा
हर 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 महादेवा
हर 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 महादेवा
जय गुरु ओंकारा जय जय सद्गुरु ओंकारा ओम
जय गुरु ओंकारा जय जय सद्गुरु ओंकारा
जय गुरु ओंकारा जय जय सद्गुरु ओंकारा ओम
जय गुरु ओंकारा जय जय सद्गुरु ओंकारा
जय गुरु ओंकारा जय जय सद्गुरु ओंकारा ओम
जय गुरु ओंकारा जय जय सद्गुरु ओंकारा
जय गुरु ओंकारा जय जय सद्गुरु ओंकारा ओम
जय गुरु ओंकारा जय जय सद्गुरु ओंकारा
गुरुपद रंजन राम जय जय
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 बंध विमोचन राजीव लोचन
बंध विमोचन राजीव लोचन
बंध विमोचन राजीव लोचन
बंध विमोचन राजीव लोचन
अभय कराम्बुज राम जय जय
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 गुरुपद रंजन राम जय जय
गुरुपद रंजन राम जय जय
बंध विमोचन राजीव लोचन
बंध विमोचन राजीव लोचन
अभय कराम्बुज राम जय जय
अभय कराम्बुज राम जय जय
गुरुपद रंजन राम जय जय
गुरुपद रंजन राम जय जय
जय जय राम सीताराम
जय राम सीताराम
जय जय राम सीताराम
जय जय राम सीताराम
जय जय राम सीताराम
जय
जय जय राम सीताराम
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 जय जय राम सीताराम शंकरा सदाशिवा चंद्रशेखरा
शङ्करा सदाशिवा चन्द्रशेखरा
शंकरा सदाशिवा चंद्रशेखरा
शङ्करा सदाशिवा चन्द्रशेखरा
चंद्रशेखरा गौरी शंकरा
चन्द्रशेखरा गौरीशङ्करा
चंद्रशेखरा गौरी शंकरा
चन्द्रशेखरा गौरीशङ्करा
शंकरा सदाशिवा चंद्रशेखरा
शङ्करा सदाशिवा चन्द्रशेखरा
चंद्रशेखरा गौरी शंकरा
चन्द्रशेखरा गौरीशङ्करा
नीलकंठ शूलधारी चंद्रशेखरा
नीलकण्ठ शूलधारि चन्द्रशेखरा
नीलकंठ शूलधारी चंद्रशेखरा
नीलकण्ठ शूलधारि चन्द्रशेखरा
भालनेत्र त्रिपुरारी गौरी शंकरा
बालनेत्र त्रिपुरारि गौरीशङ्करा
भालनेत्र त्रिपुरारी गौरी शंकरा
बालनेत्र त्रिपुरारि गौरीशङ्करा
शंकरा सदाशिवा चंद्रशेखरा
शङ्करा सदाशिवा चन्द्रशेखरा
चंद्रशेखरा गौरी शंकरा
चन्द्रशेखरा गौरीशङ्करा
नीलकंठ शूलधारी चंद्रशेखरा
नीलकण्ठ शूलधारि चन्द्रशेखरा
भालनेत्र त्रिपुरारी गौरी शंकरा
बालनेत्र त्रिपुरारि गौरीशङ्करा
शंकरा सदाशिवा चंद्रशेखरा
शङ्करा सदाशिवा चन्द्रशेखरा
चंद्रशेखरा गौरी शंकरा
चन्द्रशेखरा गौरीशङ्करा
चंद्रशेखरा गौरी शंकरा
चन्द्रशेखरा गौरीशङ्करा
चंद्रशेखरा गौरी शंकरा
चन्द्रशेखरा गौरीशङ्करा
ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु Saha Viryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatvamanusandarami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshinim Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedai Sangha Padakramo Panishadaihi Gayantiyam Samagaha Dhyanavasthita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yoginaha Yasyantanna Vidusura Suraganaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. We are in the 8th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. This chapter begins with some 6 questions on the part of Arjuna, which questions are based on the last verses of the 7th chapter, meaning that what the Lord said in the 7th chapter then become the basis or ground for the questions in the beginning of the 8th chapter. So Arjuna asked here this question in the first verse, Kim tad brahma, kim adhyatmam, kim karma purushottama. O Purushottama, O most exalted among the Purushas, kim tad brahma. What is that Brahma? What is the nature of Brahma? Kim adhyatmam. What is the nature of the self? Kim karma. What is the nature of karma which is responsible for the creation? Adhibhutam cha kim proktam. What is called Adi? Adi means the centered upon. Adi means adhikaranam, the 7th case. Adhibhuta means bhute, so that which is centered on bhuta, the elements. So elemental world. So kim adhibhutam. What is the adhibhutam centered upon the 5 elements? Adhidevam kimuchyate. What is it that is centered upon the devatas? So we know that the world is created or made of the 5 elements: space, air, fire, water and earth. So that is the bhautikam or the elemental creation. Then there is also what we call the world of the devatas or the divine world, who controlled. So here the adhyatma, the individuals, adhibhuta also the elements, Both of these are controlled by the devatas, the presiding deities. That is called the Adhidevam. So Adhyatma, the individual, Adhibhuta, the elemental world with which I interact, Adhideva, so that which is presiding, controlling the Adhyatma, the individual and the elemental world. So what is Adhideva? Adhiyajnah katham kotra, who is the presiding deity of the yajna that we perform? Prayana kale cha katham kneyosi nitatmavihi. The main question is in the second line of the second verse. Prayana kale cha katham kneyosi nitatmavihi. And at the time of death, O Lord, the yogis whose mind is focused, how do they know you? So this will form the main topic of the 8th chapter. Meaning that this chapter teaches us how to die by teaching us how to live, of course. Because as Lord Krishna will explain to us, that death is determined by the way we live. So other questions are answered by the Lord, Aksharam Brahma Paramam. Arjuna asked this question, Kim Tad Brahma, what is that Brahman? What is the nature of Brahman? Or the ultimate reality, Paramatika, the absolute reality, Aksharam, immutable. Lord Krishna says that Aksharam or immutable is the nature of Brahman. So Vedanta uses the word Brahman for the reality of the creation. What is the ultimate reality about myself? What's the ultimate reality about the universe? What is the ultimate reality of everything that we experience in our life? What is the ultimate reality? Is there a reality? Answer is yes. What is the reality called? It is called Brahman. You can give other name also. But Brahman means limitless. Bruhatvad Brahma, so word Brahman means that which is boundless, limitless. So Vedanta teaches that the universe which appears to us limited in every way, every individual is limited in time, place and attributes. Everything is limited. Even the great, big, black holes and all these big galaxies and stuff like that, they're great. Unimaginable, mind-boggling and still limited. Because they had a beginning and therefore they will have an end also. The beginning maybe 13.5 billion years ago, and God knows when the end will be. But whatever begins has to end, and everything is perishable. So Vedanta teaches that the universe in which everything is perishable because everything is born or created, the truth of this perishable universe is imperishable. Aksharam means immutable, imperishable. So Brahma means boundless, limitless. The limitless, boundless Brahman. You could use some other word also. In many words I used, Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta, etc. But derivatively, word Brahman means that which is boundless, which is the big, which is unconditionally big, that which has no boundaries, no limitations. And Vedanta teaches that this world which appears to us limited in every way, its truth is limitless. The world which sees perishable, the truth is imperishable. The world which all appears multiple, the truth is one. The world there is limited in every way, the truth is limitless. This is something that we could never imagine. Many people, many other thinkers also, have been deluded when they want to arrive at the cause based on the effect. The universe is creation. It is an effect. And so they want to infer the cause based on the effect. So effect is limited, it has 3 gunas, then it has 5 elements, etc., etc. So imagine the cause also of that way. Vedanta says no. The cause or the basis is Brahman, the limitless. Svabhavaha adhyatma uchyate. Where is that Brahman? Where is it to be found? Svabhavaha, swasya bhava, one's own bhava, one's own nature, one's own swarupa. So these two mind-boggling things that Vedanta teaches. One is that the truth or the basis of what all appears to be limited is limitless. And secondly, that limitless truth is not to be found elsewhere, svabhava, it is to be discovered as my own self. As long as there is a conclusion that the truth that I am searching for is elsewhere, the scientist keeps looking out there in search of truth. Vedanta says no. Truth is to be discovered as yourself, not in you, but as yourself. Svabhavaha adhyatma uchyate. Swami, how can it be? You are telling me that I am Brahman, I am limitless. How can I be? So here Bhashyakara says that what I call I, when investigated, what we take the I to be is of course seems limited. But when we investigate what is the essential nature of this I, then it turns out to be Brahman. So that's the very interesting thing. That what I call I, it keeps on changing. Now I am a karta, a doer, bhokta, experiencer, etc., sukhi, dukhi, happy, unhappy. The I constantly keeps on changing. In that changing I, is there something that does not change? Is there a changeless thread that informs all the changes? Like a crystal. Where is it? Because there are many crystals here. Ah, there it is. It's right in front of me. So the crystal may keep on changing the color. It may appear having different colors at different times. But is that the essential nature of crystal? No. Crystal is colorless, transparent. So I appear to be happy, unhappy, etc. Is that my nature? Says no. In fact, the self is transparent, limitless. So what is Brahman? What is the reality of the whole universe is nothing but is to be discovered as my own self. So how dhyatma uchyate bhuta bhavodbhokaraha visargaha karma sanyitaha adhibhutam kshabhavaha purushchadadevatam adhyajñohamematra dehe bhutamvara. Then Lord Krishna comes to verse number 5. Perhaps that was the main purpose of Arjuna, maybe. So, the rest of the chapter is dedicated to discussing that. So let us read the verse number 5. Antakale cha mameva Smaran muktva kalevaram Yah prayati samadbhavam Yati nastyatra samshayah. Antakale, maranakale, at the time of death. Antakale means death. Antakale, at the time of death. Mameva smaran kalevaram muktva yah prayati, who departs from here. At the time of death, one who departs from this body, mameva smaran, remembering me. So Lord Krishna says, one who departs from this body, there is no need to say Antakala, naturally at the time of death. So either you depart from this body or at the time of death. So death means departs from this body. In case somebody has some other idea, Lord Krishna clarifies here, Tejan Deham, so Muktva Deham, departing from this body at the time of death. Mameva smaran, remembering me. So one who departs from this body, remembering me, but bhavam yati, he attains my bhava, he becomes one with me. Nasti atra samshayah. Lord Krishna says in this, there should not be any doubt. So, whatever be the state of the mind, ya ante matihi sa gatihi, it said that whatever is a mati at the end is the gati, is the destination. Therefore, the mind assumes various forms constantly, and whatever form the mind assumes at the time of departure from its body, that is the form that it attains after departure, after death. And so Lord Krishna says that if one departs from this body remembering me, then he attains oneness with me. Now this is a specific statement made. In the next verse, Lord Krishna tells a general rule. This is a specific situation that a person departs remembering Lord, gains oneness with the Lord, and that rule applies to others also, other things also. Therefore, the 6th verse says, Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam Tyajatyante kalevaram Tam tamevaiti kaunteya Sada tad bhava bhavitaha. So Lord Krishna says, remembering me, one who departs attains oneness with me. And that applies to anything, yam yam bhava. So whatever is the remember, so whatever be the bhava, whatever be the state of mind at the time of death. Yam yam bhavam smaran. So remembering whatever, here bhava then we would have to say that, remembering whatever thing or whatever entity, whatever it is that the one remembers at the time of death. Tam tameva eti, the departed soul attains oneness with whatever it is that he remembers at the time of death. So whatever is the bhava, whatever is the state of mind at the time of death is what one becomes. In fact, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad describes that when Jivatma, the soul, departs from this body, that first of all, everything is gathered into the heart, all the faculties are gathered into the heart, and in the heart apparently there are many openings and many veins emanating from the heart, radiating from the heart. When it departs from one of them, there's one that goes straight, all the way to the crown of the head, and other go in different directions. So which is the aperture through which this person will depart depends upon his karma. Meaning whatever he has done during the life and whatever kind of state he has attained, his destination is determined by what is the path through which he departs. If he departs through this path that leads straight to the crown of the head, he goes to Brahmaloka, the highest attainment. And if he departs through other gates or other apertures which are going in different directions, and then he will attain the gati according to that. Well, we need not worry about this, but this is for general information. Because we can't determine at the time of death what's going to happen to us. Although it says here that whatever be the state at the time of death is what one becomes after death. But more important word here is last word of the second line of the sixth verse, sada tad bhava bhavitaha. Because he has always been engrossed in that thought. Point is, what is the last thought at the time of departure? Whatever is the most predominant thought that one has entertained during the life. What have you thought in the life as the most important thing? What it is that has generally occupied your mind during the life? And that is what will be the last thought. Sada tad bhava bhavitaha. He has always been engrossed in that thought. So whatever is the most important thing for a human being, for a person, the mind usually thinks of what it considers as most important at a given time. And so whatever it is that has been thought to be most important, is it some worldly thing? Is it some divine thing? Is it the Atma or the Self? Whatever is the most important. For somebody, the wealth may be most important. For somebody, the power may be most important. For somebody, fame may be most important. For somebody, heaven may be most important. For somebody, some devata may be most. So, devata may be most important because I've been worshipping that devata. Whatever has been the most important thing in my life. For me, I don't worship anything. There is no devata in my life. I don't, have. But still, there is something important. We may not have specifically paid attention to what is important, but something still is important. What is my mind most concerned about? Is it my future, my wealth, my bank account, my family, my son, my spouse, my parents, my name, my fame? What is most important in my life? What is it that I am seeking to become in my life? Even if we have not thought specifically of what I want to become, I want to become a Bill Gates or a Swami Vivekananda or whatever it is. Or there are people who want to become some, I forget what was the... Anyway, he may want to become a lord of the underworld also. So maybe. Because those fellows are also receiving applications. I read some years ago, they receive applications that they want to be recruited by them. There are people. Depending upon our mind, something fascinates us. Some movie star fascinates, some sports star fascinates. Wealth fascinates, fame fascinates, power fascinates, body fascinates, beauty fascinates. It may change also, but there is something that fascinates. It's likely that person is devoted to what is it that fascinates that person, and he's trying to become that. So I am not trying to become any actor, any sports star, nothing. But still, something you want to become and nothing I want to become. So that is what it is. Maybe that is what you are seeking. I don't know. But then everybody has some fascination for something. And that is what... Now, person may not be, he may be a lazy fellow, and therefore, even though he likes something but doesn't try for it, it's a different thing. There are many of us like that, that I'm fascinated by Swami Viditatmananda. I never did anything that he did, for example. But still something fascinates you. And mind will think about it. The mind tries for it, deliberates upon that, makes it its goal, and that's the main thought that is running, the thread that is running in my life. A doctor, from the young age, what do you want to be? I want to be a doctor, I want to be an attorney, I want to be an engineer. So the child keeps thinking about that. Throughout the school years, and then undergraduate, and MCAT, and this CAT, and in the exams. USMLE. So constantly thinking. And he or she applies themselves totally to that. And ultimately they become that. Meaning that no accomplishment comes without a dedication. We have to be dedicated to that. We have to put an effort in that. And so it is important also to ask my own mind. Mind, what do you want to be? What do you think will make you, how do you see yourself in future? I don't care, Swamiji. Maybe. Usually somebody has a picture for future. They may not try, they may not be, working hard, but somebody has a picture of a wealthy person, of a famous person, of a powerful person, some person, something or the other. So once you discover what it is, that is the goal of life. What is the purpose of my life? What is the goal of my life? What is it that is important to me? What is it that my mind is seeking? If the mind is not seeking, then I can direct my mind to seek. So that's the reason why we recommend to young people that may read the life story of great people. And you'll get some inspiration from that. So, some inspiration should be there, somebody should be there which becomes my role model. I want to form myself according to that. Sada tad bhava bhavita. And so the mind is engaged with that thought all along. So it is not that the last thought comes by itself. Lord Krishna says the last thought is the outcome of the thought that this person has essentially entertained throughout the life. If you don't entertain any thought, we don't know whatever the mind decides at that time. Here, of course, Lord Krishna talks about a Devata, talks about Bhagavan, doesn't talk about becoming a rich man or becoming a... But whatever it is that we think, that is what will become. It's interesting to know that what we are right now also is a result of what we have been thinking until now. The present is the product of the past. So we cannot blame anybody for what we are. Mom, why did you give me birth? Some children ask. So sometimes we don't know to take responsibility for ourselves and blame somebody else for what we are, what problems we have. But so thus determining what is it that my mind wants, what is the goal of my life, what is my role model, and how should I mold myself. That's why in the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna asks in 2nd chapter itself, Sthita prajnasya ka bhasha. Oh Lord, how do they describe a Sthita prajna, a man of abiding wisdom? That is his goal. Having listened to the discourse from Lord Krishna about the self-knowledge, then that has become the goal of Arjuna. How do they describe a man of abiding wisdom? Please tell me, what are his characteristics? How does he talk? How does he walk? How does he behave? So that I can also mold myself accordingly and become that. And this Arjuna asks in more than one place in the Bhagavad Gita. How does a wise person, how is a bhakta, how is a gunatita, how is a sthita prajna, bhakta, gunatita? Lord Krishna describes the characteristics of all these people, the successful people. What Bhagavad Gita calls a successful person. And that is sthita prajna. A person who is free. Freedom is what, of course, Bhagavad Gita presents as the success. Because that is what one is constantly seeking, knowingly or unknowingly. And there a person who enjoys total freedom. What do you mean total freedom, Swamiji? Does it mean he can fly? He can walk on water? He can do what he wants to do? No, I don't even want that. To want that means there is some bondage. I want to walk on water, there is some problem there. And fly in the air. No. A free person doesn't bother himself with anything like that. I'm just free. I don't have any desire to become anything. I'm not a non-demanding person. Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan. When a person becomes free from all expectations and needs and demands, that is the kind of freedom that Lord Krishna describes. Meaning freedom is not described in the terms of the external situation, where you don't control what is out there. The wise person also confronts the situation that are favorable and unfavorable just as we do. Because you cannot control the situation, nor do you want to control. But you can certainly control yourself. And that's how Lord Krishna describes the characteristics of a wise person. So this is how the successful person has been described in the Bhagavad Gita. So whatever it is, whatever my concept of a successful person is, what is it that I want to become? That's why I said that it's a good idea to study the life of great people and study Bhagavad Gita, which of course describes what are the characteristics of a successful person. If that is what I have been wanting to become, want to become free. What do you mean free? Free to do anything? No. There is no desire, there is no compulsion. Freedom from all compulsions. That's what Bhagavad Gita teaches. Freedom from all compulsion. So if that is the idea I've been entertaining throughout my life, and that's the end of it. That will be at the end. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tijatyante kalevaram. So whatever bhava, whatever thought, entertaining whatever thought, he departs from this body. That's what he attains. Therefore, the Lord Krishna prescribed what that bhava should be, what that goal should be. Lord Krishna says, I should be your goal. First, a general statement is made that whatever it is that you have been all the time admiring, thinking, trying to become is what you become at the end. But what should you admire? What should be your goal? And so the 7th verse says, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu Mamanusmara yudhya cha Mayyarpita mano buddhi Mame vaishyasya samshayah. Arjuna understands that human being is born with a purpose. Some people ask, is there a purpose in life? Surely there is a purpose. How do you say there is a purpose in life? Because in my mind there are desires. The desires keep on arising one after the other. But Swamiji, desires keep on changing. Does it mean the purpose changes? Says no. If you ask what is the desire behind the desires, no doubt different kinds of desires arise one after the other. But are they really different from each other? Or is it one desire that manifests as different desires? We'll find that it is one desire that manifests as different desires. The desire behind the desire is to become free. Free from all demand, free from all expectations, free from all limitations. So first of all, we have to understand that as human beings that we are born with a certain goal. Whether we are given thought to that or not is a different thing. But that we are born with a goal. And that goal is not some worldly goal also. To become a wealthy person, become this person, that may not last too long. Meaning that may not be an inspiring goal for a long time because you become that and then what next? So Lord Krishna says, what should be the goal? I should be the goal. Who are you, Bhagavan? I am the limitless. I have the nature of Ananda. I am nature of freedom. I am nature of Ananda. I am limitless. I am happiness. So there is Ananda, freedom, limitlessness. The embodiment is Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna is the embodiment of Ananda, of love, of freedom, or whatever it is that a human being is searching for in his heart. If you ask ourselves, what do I want? Then not only do I want happiness, I want unconditional happiness. Unconditional love, unconditional freedom, that's what I want. And that is what Lord Krishna stands for. When Lord Krishna uses the word I, it doesn't mean the person Krishna, which also is fine. But he means Ishvara, who is the embodiment of Ananda, love, freedom. So understand what the goal is, and then that is why. So, tasmat sarveshu kaileshu mam anusmara. Lord Krishna says, therefore at all the time, Arjuna, remember me. That me can be Lord Krishna, the person also. The interpretation of the pronoun me for some people is the Lord Krishna, the Supreme Godhead. It can be Brahman, it can be Atma, it can be Saguna Brahma, it can be my chosen deity. But here Lord Krishna talks about I as Brahman, as the Paramatma, as the limitless. So, Ma Manusmara, hey Arjuna, constantly remember me. So, as you said earlier, what will you think at the end, whatever it is that you have been remembering throughout the life? Therefore, here Arjuna, in order to reach me, may you constantly remember me throughout the life. Now, what is me? Lord Krishna is the karma adhyaksha. So, yudhyacha, while performing action. So, Lord Krishna says, hey Arjuna, may you perform your duty, yudhyacha. Hey Arjuna, may you fight a battle, but what is yuddha for Arjuna is a duty for us. Apparently, Lord Krishna gives a great importance to duty. That is called dharma. Of course, the time comes when you become free from the need of duty also. The purpose of performing karma is ultimately to become free from the need of karma. But until then, because karma, the duty, has been presented by Lord Krishna as a means of self-purification. But Arjuna, you need to purify yourself first. You need to purify your mind. Lord, what do you mean by purification? Make the mind free from impurity. What are the impurities? And Lord Krishna summarizes all impurities: raga and dvesha, attachment and aversion, which includes the kama, krodha, anger, lobha, greed, jealousy. All of these are included as impurities. So there may be jealousy for somebody, hatred for somebody, anger at somebody, greed for something. We have all that in varying measure. And they are the obstacles. These impurities or impulses are the very obstacles of focusing my mind on Ishvara. They may not be obstacles in focusing mind in some objective thing, by the way. Swamiji, we have not heard this from our professors, that for being a scientist that you must become free from ragadvesha. For being a Nobel laureate that you must become free. No, they have immense ragadveshas. There is politics also. As Nobel, everywhere there is politics. Meaning that people are not free from ragadveshas. But for the objective achievement, there is not much required. What is required is that you must have a fascination, a value, and therefore be able to focus your mind on that. As far as the objective or worldly achievements are concerned. However, as far as the achievement called happiness is concerned, as far as achievement that called happiness, for that we have to make special efforts and make our mind free from these impurities or impulses. And that is how we have studied all this time, how Lord Krishna prescribes what duty. By karma, what is meant is duty. Everybody is duty bound. Everybody has a role to play. Husband, wife, son, daughter, father, mother, citizen, employee, subordinate, superior, a devotee, a shopper, a seller. At every moment we perform one or the other role. That's how our life is. Therefore, perform each role properly. As though this life is like a play, and how in a play every actor performs a role. But in the play, the actor does not have freedom to talk what he wants, to say what he wants, to do what he wants. He has to say what the script says. The actor has to do what the script tells him to do. Although he may want to give a punch to this fellow, but the script says that you have to embrace him. Then you have to do that. Meaning that you have to keep under control your impulses and do what is right thing to do. I am sure actors also have their own problems, because they are human beings. When he comes to this, to the stage, and before that he has had perhaps some interaction with his spouse. And the temperature may be rising and this, so who knows with what mood this fellow has come. But that mood cannot be allowed to control him. When he comes to stage, everything has to be in order. That is why we are surprised. Such great actors or actresses suffer from depression. On that stage they look so wonderful. But then they have to keep their sentiments aside. That's a great accomplishment. To do what the script says. And then we learn with a great sorrow that, this person, such a beautiful one, is suffering from depression. Because all those feelings, those sentiments have been always kept under control. They are not allowed to express while they are performing as professionals. And for us also. Everybody has to perform. When you go to place of work, etc., everywhere we are performing. I'm sitting here and performing before you. And so I must do exactly what appears, what is right. Or what, I cannot allow my thoughts to dictate me, my emotions or my impulses to dictate me and say what I want to say. But that is called dharma, yudhyacha. Lord Krishna says that is what is required, that you must do what is right in every situation. So two things Lord Krishna is prescribing this verse. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu ma manusmara. Sarveshu kaleshu, at all the times. So at all the places also. At all the times, at all the places, and all circumstances. That's a very tall order, by the way, but that is what Lord Krishna says. That happens when Lord Krishna, that goal becomes the most absorbing, most important and all absorbing in my life. I must have discovered a value for that it is all absorbing, and therefore I am able to put my mind to that all the time. Sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara. Anusmara, remember me in keeping with the teaching of the scriptures and the teacher. How should we remember you, Lord? As taught by the scriptures, as taught by the teacher. Who I am? You can just sit. Because, and how do you say, Swami, when I'm working, when I'm doing my duty, how can I remember God? Ram, 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 Ram. In my mind, how can I do that? When I'm studying or when I'm talking or when I'm doing some cooking, research, when my mind has to be focused. Ideally, they say that you should be mindful. My mind must be focused in what I'm doing. At that time, how can I remember you? When I'm cooking at that time, if I remember Ram Ram, then I might wind up adding salt twice, or it may happen if my attention is not there. So, by remembering God, does Lord Krishna mean that remember His name all the time? Remembering God, we would say that, understand how God, Ishvara, is involved in my life. In what I am doing right now, how I am enjoying the grace of Ishvara, ask yourself. That I can talk, I can think, I can do these things. This one way I am suggesting is to recognize the grace of Ishvara that we are constantly enjoying. How it is by His favor that I am able to do what I am able to do. That the words come in my mouth, then only right thoughts come. Then the right words should come. First right thought should come. First right understanding should come. Then right thought should come. Then right words should come. And then they should be expressed through the speech. All this process should happen. If at some point in time there is some problem, then I will talk irrelevant also. So that these things are happening is a great privilege. At any time, whatever we are doing is a great privilege. That of course this is a great privilege, no question about it. But whatever you are doing, it's my privilege to cook, my privilege to sweep, my privilege to do vacuum, my privilege to wash, my privilege to write, my privilege to read, my privilege to think. It's my privilege. And Ishvara's grace is involved in what I am doing or the opportunity that is given to me. And so Ishvara is always involved in our life. In words of Puja Swamiji, we are constantly enjoying grace of Ishvara. The breath goes out and comes in. If breath goes out and doesn't come in, end of it. My heart lub, stop, dub, stop, lub, stop, stop, and lub happens. If it remains stopped, meaning, Swami, what's the big deal about these? Are big deal because any doctor will tell us that it's a really miracle that his body is functioning. With the kind of complications that are in this body, there are hundreds, thousands of things are working all in harmony. It's a miracle. Meaning that every moment we can remember Ishvara by the grace that we are enjoying. The privileges that we are enjoying. Everybody is privileged. Not only Swami, not only doctor, not only attorney, everybody is privileged to do what they are doing with the ability that they are given to do, with the thinking that they are given. And therefore, the grace of Ishvara is constantly flowing in my life. Ishvara is constantly involved in my life. Because He makes everything possible. He creates everything. that I will do something also, it is functioning through me. In reality, I am just an instrument. Like a doll. And he is the one, the Sutradhara. That's what Lord Krishna showed Arjuna in the 11th chapter. Arjuna saw that everybody already was killed. All the warriors of both the armies were entering the jaws of the Lord. What am I saying? He says, I have already done the job, Arjuna. You just get the credit. I do everything. I have selected you to get the credit for this. Mamanusmara. There are many ways thus of remembering Ishvara. But Ishvara's grace, the privilege Ishvara has given us, the ability that Ishvara has given us, the knowledge, the ability that we are displaying every moment. Mamanusmara. So, Arjuna, please remember me. In keeping with what the scripture, what Bhagavad Gita has taught so far, and will continue to teach. Vidya cha, and perform your duty. So that, what is the way of remembering Ishvara at the end? Is this, that all the time we remember Him. And we make every occasion, every interaction an occasion to remember Bhagavan, remember Ishvara. Whatever is your concept of Ishvara is. Mayi arpita manobuddhi mame vaishyasya samshaya. That will become Mayi arpita manobuddhi and mame vaishyasi. So we'll discuss that after a break. We'll meet here at 11:30 and continue the discussion.